A pencil snaps quietly between two fingers. Nothing dramatic here, just an ordinary click of graphite giving way. The astronaut barely even notices, reaching for another one from the kit. This is supposedly the smart choice everyone praises as cheap and simple. No fancy pen ever required, or so the story goes. That exact story has been repeated for decades now as clear proof of government waste. It shows up regularly in classrooms and comedy routines and engineering lectures alike. The pen itself cost NASA almost nothing. Not luxury. They were dodging a real risk. The myth goes something like this. NASA spent millions developing a fancy space pen. Meanwhile, the clever, practical Soviets simply grabbed a pencil. It's framed as a parable, American overspending against Soviet common sense. The joke practically writes itself every single time. The story is neat and satisfying, and almost entirely wrong. NASA itself barely spent even a single dollar on pen development at all. The Fisher space pen was built with about $1 million of Fisher's own money. Private capital, entirely his own, not a single government dollar. NASA simply tested the pen, then bought around 400 units, roughly $3 to $6 each. Hardly the extravagant taxpayer purchase the meme claims it to be. Before any of that history unfolded, both programs actually used pencils first too. NASA even paid roughly $128.89 apiece for 34 mechanical pencils back in 1965. That single price point alone should have killed the myth decades ago. Soviet cosmonauts used pencils too at first, just like everyone assumes. Neither side had a better option yet. Both switched, not because pencils were somehow expensive, because pencils were genuinely dangerous. Picture the hero of the myth, smug and certain, grabbing that plain pencil, writing normally, pressing down the exact way anyone would on Earth. The tip snaps almost immediately under completely ordinary pressure. This happens constantly, both on Earth and in orbit alike. Any writer knows the feeling. Nothing unusual so far. The real story starts with what happens to that broken piece next. A snapped tip, same as always. Or so it seems. On a desk, gravity finishes the job instantly. The fragment falls, rolls nearby, and gets swept into a bin without thought. Nobody ever worries about a snapped pencil tip landing on a desk. It's inert there and completely forgettable. A janitor sweeps it away eventually, unnoticed. Earth's one safety margin is simply settling. Gravity always cleans up after itself, eventually. Gravity does the cleanup. Every single time. Without anyone noticing. Inside a spacecraft cabin, nothing settles at all. There is no floor to fall toward, no down to speak of. That same graphite fragment simply drifts, riding whatever air current catches it. Wood dust from the pencil's shaft floats right alongside it. Both tiny particles hang in the cabin atmosphere indefinitely, going nowhere entirely on their own. Astronauts sometimes spot these tiny drifting bits weeks later, far from where they started. Something eventually catches them, a filter or an intake. Nowhere to fall. Nowhere to hide. Just drifting endlessly. Spacecraft air handling relies entirely on forced ventilation, not passive airflow, not gravity. Fans pull cabin air directly through sensitive avionics racks to keep the electronics properly cool. That same drifting graphite fragment now has a straight path toward exposed circuitry. Nothing blocks it in time. Graphite conducts electricity plainly and reliably, exactly the same way it does back on Earth. A stray conductive particle bridging two exposed contacts is a textbook short circuit. One tiny fragment. One open panel. Nothing more exotic than that. A short circuit inside a sealed cabin behaves nothing like one in a normal room. Nothing like it at all. Recent 2024 and 2025 NASA-funded combustion research changed how engineers think about this entirely. Materials can ignite at oxygen concentrations as low as 15% in microgravity. Earth's threshold sits closer to 18% for the same materials. Fires spread up to 3 times faster without gravity around to pull heat away. Convection currents that normally carry heat upward simply don't form the same way. Nothing carries the heat off. It just builds faster. A spark, becomes something else. 1 cent of graphite triggers all of this, at least in theory. A short becomes a spark, the spark becomes a fire risk within seconds. That specific risk spreads faster than any ground-based fire alarm system ever anticipated. Materials considered perfectly safe down on Earth ignite far more easily up there. The entire dangerous chain starts with something as mundane as 1 broken pencil tip. Nobody designing spacecraft wanted to leave that chain of events to chance. A 1-cent mistake, a life-threatening cascade. That's the actual math. Engineers themselves never cared about wasting money on writing implements. Graphite conductivity was the actual concern. Wood flammability mattered too, given how remarkably dry cabin air tends to run. The Fisher Space Pen solved both problems by sealing ink inside a pressurized cartridge. Pressurized nitrogen gas pushed the ink forward instead of relying on gravity at all. No graphite, no debris, problem solved. Soviet engineers reached that identical conclusion eventually too. Not right away, but soon enough. By 1969, Soviet cosmonauts had already switched to Fisher pens too, quietly and without fanfare. Same hazard and the same solution, independent of any American influence. The graphite risk was genuinely universal, not some quirk of one nation's engineering culture. Physics doesn't care which flag sits on the capsule. Same hazard, same fix, everywhere eventually. The Apollo 1 fire back in 1967 fundamentally reshaped how NASA approached cabin flammability. One tragedy changed everything. That fire happened inside a pure oxygen environment, far more extreme than typical cabin air. Engineers afterward treated every single material inside the capsule as a serious potential fire risk. Wood and paper and loose graphite all fell under new scrutiny. A simple pencil viewed through that lens stopped looking quite so harmless anymore. One single disaster changed everything, including pencils. Modern spacecraft still enforce genuinely strict rules about loose objects inside the cabin. Nothing gets a free pass. Anything not secured gets labeled a potential foreign object debris risk. Crews conduct regular scheduled sweeps looking for stray screws and other loose fragments. A single broken pencil tip alone would trigger exactly this kind of search today. Even a single loose staple gets logged and physically retrieved. Every loose object, tracked down, no exceptions. Space agencies today publish detailed material safety guides before any object reaches orbit. Every item evaluated, down to the smallest fastener, checked for flammability and conductivity. A standard wooden pencil would likely fail that modern review outright. Engineers now test every candidate material in both low oxygen and high oxygen chambers. That specific level of scrutiny simply didn't exist in the earliest years of spaceflight. Every item tested, nothing assumed safe. Not anymore. Fisher's clever invention relied on Thixotropic ink, a gel that only flows under pressure. An odd word for a simple trick. Sitting perfectly still, the ink behaves almost like a solid inside its sealed cartridge. The ballpoint tip rolling against paper triggers the ink to flow. That exact mechanism works identically whether the pen sits perfectly upright or upside down. Gravity plays no role in the writing process whatsoever. No gravity needed, just pressure. That's the whole trick. Fisher actually pitched his own pen to NASA multiple times before anyone paid attention. Early requests were turned down, largely out of simple bureaucratic caution. Astronauts kept using pencils regardless, largely unaware of the risk building quietly around them. It took internal safety reviews to finally shift official policy, not marketing. The switch wasn't dramatic, it was just quietly overdue. Turned down first, adopted later once the risk was clear. NASA's own historians have quietly pushed back against the pencil myth for years, publicly and repeatedly. Official NASA statements clarify that cost was never the deciding factor in the switch. Reliability and basic safety topped every internal memo about writing tools in orbit. The myth persists anyway, simply because it's a better story than the boring truth. Nobody laughs at graphite conductivity the way they laugh at government spending. A better story, not a truer one. That's why it stuck. The myth's surprising staying power says something about how people process technical risk. Numbers are easy. A dollar figure is easy to understand and repeat endlessly. Graphite conductivity and oxygen combustion thresholds are simply none of those things. Complex physics rarely wins against a punchy, quotable one-liner about government spending. The boring version usually turns out to be the accurate one. Simple beats complex, every time, even when it's wrong. Think about dropping a handful of loose metal staples into an open desktop computer case. Nothing dramatic yet. On a desk, gravity lets most of them fall away before touching anything. Shake that case gently and you'd clear out nearly all of them within seconds. Now, seal that exact same computer inside a drifting balloon with no up or down. Every single loose staple in that case eventually bumps against some exposed circuit board. There's genuinely no way to predict which one eventually causes the short. Same staples, same computer, only gravity changed. That's the exact difference between a broken pencil tip on Earth and one in orbit. Same object, same basic physics of electrical conductivity throughout. Zero gravity simply removes the one safety margin that makes this hazard tolerable at all. Settling was never actually guaranteed, it was simply assumed because it always had been. Take gravity fully away, and that old habit of falling simply collapses instantly. Nothing about the pencil itself ever changed at all. Nothing changed, except gravity changed. That was everything. The myth mocks NASA for allegedly overpaying on a silly solvable problem. Backwards, completely. That mockery gets the entire story backwards, thoroughly, and almost entirely wrong. The cheap and humble pencil was the actual hazard the entire time. The expensive and wasteful pen actually turned out to be the safer, nearly free private solution. Nobody at Mission Control ever actually asked Fisher to build it in the first place. Cheap wasn't safe, expensive wasn't wasteful. The joke runs backwards. Out in space, the object everyone assumes is harmless can threaten a multi-billion-dollar station. That's not a story about government waste at all. It's a story about how completely the rules change once gravity stops pulling debris down. Up there in orbit, that floor simply doesn't exist at all. The pencil never needed to be dangerous on Earth to become genuinely dangerous somewhere else. It just needed gravity to finally stop doing its quiet, invisible job. The pen was never the joke. The pencil always was. That's the whole story.